time I checked, I was the man uptown. 18 for a key, 52 for a pound. They call me disrespectful cause I piss on bitches. Even if I wasn't drunk, I still piss on bitches. Niggas don't put in no work, but they think they're boss. I'm the nigga that they call when they need a nigga off.
Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Got a newer scent from the house of Cartier to review for you guys today. This one is called Cartier Eau de Vetiver Bleu. Now, I am just a huge fan of this house. It isn't a house that a lot of people think about when they think about upper echelon design fragrance houses. First you think Dior, Hermes, Chanel, YSL, but for me this is right there, and this is actually bottle number 8 for me from this house. I also own Declaration, Declaration d'un Soir, Roadster Sport, Bassier du Dragon, the original L'Eau du Soleil, and this one. And believe it or not, there are quite a few more that I want from this house. I think they're all class when it comes to their fragrances, and they do handle their fragrances in-house, which I think has served them really well. When this one dropped, I was excited because I really like L'Eau and I like the flankers. I think Zest Soleil is awesome. I need to get Essence d'Orange. When this came out, I smelled it at Bloomingdale's briefly, kind of dug it, and thought, you know what, I'll fall back a little bit, wait to see if this one hits discounters, and within a few months it did, and I jumped. So I got my 50 ml bottle of this for $35 shipped. Now I wanted to get the 100 ml to match my other 2 bottles, but the 100 ml was actually more than double the price and not just worth it for me. This one was a 2015 release. It has only 3 listed notes. That's mint at the top, licorice in the middle, and vetiver in the base. The parfum here is Mathilde Laurent. Sort of the in-house nose at Cartier. She's done Declaration d'un Soir, Roadster, and many of their higher end scents that Cartier puts out. Of course, that very expensive oud line that they released last year. Now, as far as your presentation goes, you've got a blue box, Eau de Cartier, Vetiver Bleu, made in France. Love the coloring on this one, and the bottle same as all the other Odas. This one has a bluish tinted juice. You've got Cartier there, you've got Eau de Vetiver Bleu, and you've got sort of the this keeps it so you can't depress the sprayer, and when you twist it down you can get your sprays out. So kind of a neat little concept. The bottle to me looks just as much as a work of art as it does a bottle of fragrance, so pretty cool there. Now, as far as how this one smells, it's pretty interesting. It's actually a little bit unusual, and certainly not like many vetiver scents that I've smelled. Not a lot I can compare this to, but what I really like out of this is not so much that there's mint. There's really not mint here for me. It's more about a little bit of licorice with some very clean and uplifting vetiver. There's also some woods in this one. It has a bit of a foresty vibe to it. I don't know if that's not a word, but it kind of feels like sitting out in the woods when it's very dry out, eating licorice and having some vetiver nearby. And this might sound bizarre, but it's actually nice, uplifting. There's a little bit of soapiness to this one. Not a very dry scent, has some sweetness. Now, whether or not that's because it's a sweet vetiver note here, or the woods give some sweetness, or the licorice, I don't know. But it is sweet, and it doesn't have a heck of a lot of development. What will happen as this one evolves a little bit is that the sweetness comes up, the vetiver note comes out a lot more, the woods fades, the licorice fades, any hint of mint goes away, and you're left with a very clean and upscale vetiver fragrance. Performance is not the strength of this scent. It lasts decently 6 to 8 hours. You know, you have to keep in mind it is part of the L'Eau series, which means the water, so it's meant to be a sheer watery and transparent fragrance. But for me, most of this one is a skin scent, doesn't pop out all that much. Maybe a bit of projection, but nothing worth speaking to. Now, vetiver lovers of either sex can pull this one off. I think the cleanliness might appeal a little bit more to a male, but these are of course all unisex, and I think either sex would be comfortable wearing this fragrance. I think this one is made for spring and summer. Don't think it has the makeup or something you're going to want to wear in colder weather, because it's going to be hard to get you noticed. And I think this is one that for me I want to wear in the office in the spring or summer. I think it'll do well in those times and in those situations. As far as comparisons, not a heck of a lot, but one that I can say does resemble this one a little bit to me is Air by Kenzo. That is a fragrance about vetiver and licorice. And this isn't going to make a lot of sense, but even though those notes are in common, the fragrances are still different. This one's sweeter and a little bit more robust, where Kenzo is a little bit more natural and a little bit more refined. I think it's a more delicate fragrance. This one's a little more clumsy. I think if someone were trying to talk you into this one, I think they would tell you that, it's that Cartier class to this one. It's non-offensive, and it could be a great work time scent. I think on the flip side, someone might tell you that this one ain't going to get you noticed. And there's better vetiver scents out there. They're going to get you better performance. Certainly the Guerlain option is a better vetiver fragrance, and you probably can get it for the same price point. And there are other vetiver fragrances that are probably just more stunning. Certainly Encre Noir is another one, although far less wearable than this one. It's fairly tough for me to rate this one. I like it, but it doesn't give me enough to really get excited. But I'm still going to give this one a 7 out of 10 because there's a lot of ways, there's not a lot of ways, that I can really kill the scent, deduct a point for performance and originality because note-wise it seems to be a copy of Kenzo Air. I wish the mint I was promised was there, and I wish the licorice was amped up, but if you look at all the classic Cartier scents, Roadster, Declaration, L'Eau, these are simple scents done really well. Great materials, big-time perfumers, masterful blending, gorgeous bottles, and on the secondary market, wonderful price points. You can get L'Eau, Roadster, and Declaration and have 100 ml bottles of each, and that's going to cost you around $100, and that's insane. And I think this fits in really nice with the L'Eau series. And these are scents that don't pack a hell of a lot of punch, but they're very natural, they're very understated, and the notes do sort of pop. So I'm a fan, and I will own Orange and possibly Bois as well. And if they make more, I'd probably be on board with those too. So I'm a fan, and I think I'm a fan of this one so far. That's all I could say about Vetiver Bleu. So if you have any questions, as always, guys, I'm more than happy to try to answer them for you. And if not, I'll see you.
His punchlines is harder and his image is real. He don't need no stylist, he can fly on his own. He don't need an entourage to pull him proud on his own. He get high when he's on, switch time when he's on. Never no co-defendants did his crimes on his